Hello there everyone, and welcome to another edition of Lydia's Crafty Corner with me, Lydia, in my little crafty corner. Today we'll be creating some staggered stacked sentiments using the Joy to the World set from Altenew. So I have the Joy to the World Typography stamp set, and all I'm going to do first is that I am going to condition my stamps using the stamp conditioning eraser from Altenew. This means that the inks and the stamps will be best of friends from the off. So once I've done that, I'm then going to stamp my sentiment. Now I'm just going to be stamping this onto a piece of white cardstock. Now this isn't what I'm going to be having on at the end, so don't really worry about where you're going to stamp this. I am going to start with the outline image first for the Joy to the World, and I've used the Obsidian ink to pop that in place. I'm then going to take the first stamp for the little kind of shooting bits off the Joy to the World, and for this one I'm going to be using the pink pearl ink. So I'm just going to ink that up and then stamp that one into place, and I just love how this looks. It's just so cool. I'm then going to take the second image for this one, and this one's going to come off the O, and for this one I am going to be using the very pretty Mountain Mist ink. It's one of my favorites, and you know I struggle a lot of the time not to use it. So I'm going to stamp that one into place, and I'm then going to take the third bit of this one, and this is coming off the Y this time, and I'm going to be using a green for this color, and I'm going to be using the Bamboo. So this is a really great light vibrant ink. So I'm going to stamp that one into place, and that is all of the stamping done. I'm then going to take the Joy to the World Typography simple colouring stencil, and I'm just going to pop this into place. Now it does have etched lines on this, so it is really easy to line this one up. As I'll be going over that blue colour first, which was the Mountain Mist, I am going to use the Volcano Lake to add the darker shadows to that portion there. I can then move the stencil around, pop it again into place using those etchings to really make sure that it's in the perfect position. And then I'm going to be going over the pink pearl. So for this one I am going to be using the Coral Bliss ink, a really beautiful corally colour there. So once that one's done, I can then shift the stencil yet again, just popping that into place, adding a little bit of tape so it doesn't shift. And then I'm going to be using the Parrot ink on top of the Bamboo. So where we did the Bamboo, I'm going to be adding the Parrot on top of that one. And just look how cool that is there. So once I have my sentiment all done, I'm then going to cut this out. So I'm using the large die, which is going to go around the whole of the image. I then decided to use some glitter cardstock for the actual sentiment itself. So I'm going to cut that out too. I am going to be adding some double-sided adhesive onto the back of this, so I'm just going to cut it into roughly the right shape, then add that onto some double-sided adhesive. I can then die cut these using my die cutting machine, and you can see just how well they do die cut. Now the glitter one didn't go all the way through, reason being it did have the backing of that double-sided adhesive, so don't worry about that one. I'm then going to use some black cardstock, and this is what I'm going to use instead of foam tape to kind of lift those letters up. So I did want some double-sided adhesive on the back of that one too, and I'm going to cut that out as many times as I can. So I cut that out 3 times fully, and then I cut the Joy another 2 times, so that's going to pop up a little bit more than the rest of the sentiment. Now it's time to stack my sentiment. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take each of the letters, and I'm going to stack them up one on top of each other. So I am using all the black pieces first, so this Joy has 5 of them, and I'm then going to take the glitter one and I'm going to pop that right on top, so I have that beautiful glitter right at the top, but then I also have the stacked black as well. Once I have finished each of the letters, I'm then going to pop them into place onto the Joy to the World image that we created with the stamps, and also the stencil too. So you can see that we have that really beautiful kind of glitter at the top, but then the stacked words themselves are out of black, so you're going to be able to see that black at the sides, which creates a really bold look there. Now, as you can see, this does take a little time and it can be a little fiddly, but I do think that it is truly worth it at the end. So I'm just going to finish this off now, just making sure that I have all of the little letters in place. And then when I've popped these onto the little piece that we have over to the side, you can see that the Joy is popped up a lot more than the To the World. So it's really going to pop in your face a little bit more than the rest of the sentiment. I have to say this is a really clever set and I do love how this sentiment looks. So once I have that done, I then decided to kind of create my card base. So I have a white card base here, but then I wanted to add a little bit more interest to the back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some scrap paper and I'm just going to lie that across where the sentiment is, just so I can get the stripes in the same direction. I didn't want them kind of off a little bit. I wanted them all going in the same gradient as the stripes on the sentiment itself. And I'm just going to be using some of the Coral Bliss, Volcano Lake, and also the Parrot to create these really beautiful gradient little stripes that we have here, just by shifting the paper down and then inking along the edge of that scrap paper. Now I have my background and my sentiment little piece here. I decided to pop that into place, but then I thought that it was kind of fading into the background a little bit. So all I've done is I've taken a piece of white cardstock, which is slightly larger than the sentiment itself. And then I added a little piece of glitter cardstock, the same one that I used for the letters. And then just to make that pop a little bit more, I added some jet black cardstock too. Now, I didn't want to waste the inside of the black and the glitter because it's going to be covered up with that white piece of cardstock. So, you know, we may as well make use of it somewhere else onto a different kind of project. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of cut out the inside pieces and then I have them for another project. And you also can't tell that I've kind of took that out either. So I'm just going to add some adhesive onto that piece there and add it onto the black one, and then I can add this on into place onto my card base. I'm just using some flat glue for this. Once I've done that, I'm then going to add some foam tape to the white panel that we have, just to add a little bit more dimension there. And as you can see, it looks like we have full panels behind that piece of white cardstock. No one is going to know that we stole them pieces of glitter cardstock and the black cardstock either. I'm just going to pop the sentiment into place just using some foam tape again, and you can see just how dimensional that sentiment is, as well as all the matting and layering that we have behind it. So I really do hope that you like the card and that you've enjoyed the video as well. If you do create a card that was inspired by this, it'd be great if you do share because I'd love to see. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and we'll see you again really, really soon. Bye-bye. Hello there, crafty friend, Lydia here. Just popping in to say that you can get your daily dose of crafting tips, techniques, and tutorials just like this by subscribing to the Altenew YouTube channel. All you need to do is click on that little bell up there and you will never miss a video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.